Okay guys, 8-4, the topic here is going to be composite area. So in the last lesson, we had to find the shaded area by finding the area of the whole thing and subtracting off a piece. And so this time we're actually finding composite area by finding the area of each piece and then adding them together. Alright, so our directions are going to be to find the area here. And so what we've got to do is we've got to determine how we can divide the overall figure into pieces that are shapes that we have formulas for the area for. So like for example, if I cut this here, that turns it into a rectangle and a triangle. So then I can find the area of the rectangle, the area of the triangle, add them together, and get the full area. So let's work on the rectangle first. So area equals to the length times the width, which means the area equals to 8 times 5 in this case. And so the area of the rectangle is 40. Alright, the triangle, area of a triangle is going to be 1/2 the base times the height. And so the area is going to be equal to 1/2 times. Alright, so let's see if we can find the values for the base and for the height. The base, I think we pretty well know, is 8, because remember in a rectangle, if the left side is 8, the right side is 8. So the base is going to be 8. Now what about the height? What is this length going to be? That's what we need to try to figure out here. And so from here to here, all the way across, the figure is 12. Well, from here to here, we know is 5. Well, 5 plus what makes 12? That's going to be 7. So I do know that this now is going to be 7. All right, and that's how we can figure that out. Now we can go ahead and finish up the area. So half of 8 is 4, and 4 times 7 is 28. And so there we go. All right. Oh, we're not done yet, actually, because we got to add the two pieces together. 40 plus 28, and the area of the entire figure is going to be 68. All right. So again, divide it up into pieces that you have formulas for. Find the formula of each piece and add them together. That's our tactic. All right. So in this piece now, we can actually divide it here. And that would cut it into a rectangle and a triangle. So again, like I say, if this line wasn't originally there, we would know that we could cut it right there into a rectangle and a triangle. So once again, rectangle area equals to length times the width. And so the area is equal to 10 times 5. So we'll go ahead and make that as 50. And once again, triangle area equals to 1/2 the base times the height, and so we've got 1/2 times. So let's see what we can use as the base of this triangle. Now, kind of like in the last one, we're going to use the same principle here. All the way across here is 12. Well, what's this part of the rectangle? Well, if that side's 5, this side is 5, right? So what's this part got to be? 7 is correct. So because 7 plus 5 makes the whole thing 12. Now the height, we're going to use the same principle. From here to here is 10. This part is 4, so this part has to be 6. 6 plus 4 makes 10. So that's how we go and find the missing parts that we need there. And so now half of 6 is 3, and 3 times 7 is 21. Now I have each piece. I'm going to do 50 plus 21, and then that's going to give me the full answer that I want of 71. And then we've got it. All right. Okay, let's go on down to the next one now. We've got really two triangles that are connected together at this particular point. And so what I need to do here is I need to see if I can find the area of one of those triangles. So it'll be 1/2 the base times the height. By the way, notice that with this mark and the fact that they're parallel by these arrows here, would tell us that both of these are the same length, so 18 and 18, which essentially will make this a two congruent triangles. So these are the same. So when I go and plug in, I've got 1/2. Now for the base, we can go ahead and use this as our base. We'll make this 18. And so let's see. By the way, before I move on, if you're not convinced that these two would have to be the same, they'd have to be congruent. Okay, so let's look at it right here. So we've got angle, alternate interior angles, parallel lines cut by a transversal, right? Let's see, vertical angles here, right? Then you've got angle, angle, side, angle, angle, side. So they are congruent. And then it'll be times. Now we need to find the height of this thing. We've got to find the height of this thing. Well, remember, from here to here is halfway across, so what's 25 divided by 2? That would make the height as 12.5. And so now, 1/2 times 18 times 12.5 is 112.5. But that's the area of one of those triangles, and we have 2. So I need 112.5 times 2, and then that should give me a answer of 225. Okay. Also, don't forget, mentioned this before, area is always square units. A couple more we want to take a look at here now. Try this one. Okay, so here I've got a figure that we can consider as two parallelograms that are connected together by this side. Two parallelograms. And again, they are congruent because 1 mark, 1 mark, 1 mark, 1 mark. They're all the same, 28, 28. And then, of course, this is a reflexive side, so it has to also be the same as 28. So all the sides are the same length, and so you do have congruent figures here. All right? And so now that we're taking a look at that, let's go ahead and say that we can write down the formula. Area of a parallelogram is base times height. And so let's see if we can find out what those measurements are going to be. Base, we can use that as the base. We'll say that's 28. Now when I go through and multiply by the height, remember, the height needs to go from here to here, and it needs to be 90 degrees. Well, remember, what's all the way across the figure? Down at the bottom, we can look and see that's 30. So half of that's going to be 15. And, of course, when I multiply that together, we're looking at 420. But remember, that is going to be the area of one of those parallelograms. We have 2 that are the same. So I need 120 times 2. And then that would give me 840 as the correct answer there. All right, so that's what we're looking at. Okay. All right, so one more that we need to make sure that we take a look at here. And so let's see what we've got here on this one. Okay. And so down here on this particular figure, we can cut this into 2 trapezoids is what we can do. And so the first one's going to be area equals 1/2 the height open base 1 plus base 2. And so let's go ahead and start plugging in. And so remember the trapezoid formula we learned also from 8.1. So we're looking at the top trapezoid first. What's the height going to be? They give me the height out here as 22. So that's 1/2 times 22. We'll open this up. I've got my 2 bases, 18 and 28. So that'll be 18 plus 28. All right, so from here it's just a matter of taking it and plugging it into the calculator to see what our value is going to be. So let's do that. So 1/2 is 0.5. I'll go 0.5 times 22. Then I'll open a set of parentheses, and then I'll go 18 plus 28. Then we'll close it off. And then we come up with the correct answer for the area of that top trapezoid, which is 506. Okay. Now, we have another trapezoid that we want to add to that, which is the bottom trapezoid. And so now it's going to be 1/2 the height open base 1 plus base 2. We're using the same formula here. And so now I need to see if I can figure out what the height of the bottom trapezoid is. It gives us that length from here to here. Remember, the height of a trapezoid is from base to base, and it must be perpendicular distance. So now I've got 36 that goes in for the height. And my 2 bases are 28 plus 18. And then, of course, from here, it's just a matter of calculating the values. We can come back to the calculator here. And from the last one, I need to change my height to 36. I need to change, I don't need to change my bases, do I? They're the same. And then so there's your answer. 828. That is the area of the bottom trapezoid. And so if I want the area of the whole figure, let's go 506 plus 828. And then guess what we get? 1334 is the correct answer for the area. And so now at this point, you are ready for quiz 8-4.